I'm not exactly sure how clerking in a law firm, teaching high school English, and sort of wedding planning helps one coach college basketball, but numbers don't lie. You see, those are some of the jobs that Richmond head coach Chris Mooney held on his way to leading the Spiders, a team which has had record-breaking success this season with 26 wins. Richmond, the 7th seed in the South region, and as they prepare to take on St. Mary's in Thursday's opening round game, that eclectic job coach Chris Mooney joins us here on First Take. Chris, we're going to get to the jobs in just a minute. I'm going to start with those numbers. A record number of wins, 7th seed in the tournament. And this is a team that you have players that remember just 8 wins a few years ago. What's it been like to have this kind of turnaround?
Well, it's been very rewarding, Dana, because there's been so much hard work that's gone into it, mostly by the players, but our staff and everybody who supports our basketball program has really had to work hard. We inherited a difficult situation where we only had 7 scholarship players, and therefore we were extremely young for the next year or two, and have really built the program up on the backs of these players who have worked very, very hard and improved not only their own games, but just created a great basketball culture at our school, and one that now we're kind of enjoying the successes that they led us to.
One of those successes, that number 7 seed. Give me some idea. What was the reaction among the team when the brackets were revealed and you saw that's what you had?
Well, we were excited. I think going in, we had thought, with all the bracketology out there, we had thought maybe we'd get a 6 or a 7 seed, and we were very fortunate and excited to get a 7 seed. It was the last, quadrant that they put up there, so we were getting a little bit nervous. Wanted to make sure we were still in, but we were excited to wear the home white uniforms in the NCAA Tournament is something very special. What's
the key for you to get that win over St. Mary's Thursday? I know the preparation really has just begun, but you don't have a lot of time for that.
No, we don't have a great deal of time because since we played Sunday in the A10 championship against Temple, St. Mary's is a great team, a team that has won 25 games, I think 4 out of the last 6 seasons. They have an All-American candidate at center, and they shoot the ball extremely well from three-point range, over 40% as a team. So, there are 2 things. I mean, we're going to have to make sure our interior defense is good, and then also not give up so many threes. I think they average 8.5 3-point makes per game. So they're a very, very dangerous team offensively, and we've been a very good team defensively. So hopefully we can guard them and limit their number of 3-point attempts and makes to give ourselves a little bit of control in the game.
You talk about success defensively, and defense a lot of times is about having control and discipline. I read that you have just one team rule, and it is, quote, "Don't be a jerk." It's kind of a broad statement that one of your players gave. Can you give us some details on that team rule?
Well, don't be a jerk, and then I think it's that I interpret what behavior is being a jerk. So it's a little bit subjective, and the guys get a little bit of an idea of it as we go through things, and some things come up that might be determined that they're acting like a jerk. And to be honest, we haven't had to enforce or mention that probably in the last 2 years. So
it's good.
Yeah, we're very, very fortunate to have a good group of guys.
A little unconventional as far as team rules go, though good, and you have an unconventional sort of background. I mentioned the jobs earlier. I'm going to start with English teacher, and I read that you used to use U2 songs in teaching poetry. How?
Well, I taught English at Lansdale Catholic High School right outside of Philadelphia, and on Fridays we'd often, talk about poetry or something just a little bit offbeat, and I would throw in some U2 song lyrics or Pearl Jam song lyrics and present them as poems. And even at that point, those 2 bands were a little bit more my era and not the kids I was teaching. So not all of them knew that they were songs, but it was fun to be able to review those songs as poems.
I feel very old right now. How about your kids? If you played U2 or Pearl Jam at practice, they realize who U2 and Pearl Jam are, right?
Well, we went to a U2 concert. They were in Virginia in September, and 3 of my players didn't know who U2 was, so I knew that there's something wrong with them or there's something wrong with that.
All right, I'm not going to comment on that one because I now really am feeling very old. This was no doubt the strangest job that we read about, a sort of wedding planner. What does a sort of wedding planner do?
Well, I was the basketball coach at a place called Beaver College, which is now called Arcadia University, and there was a castle on campus, and that facility hosted weddings, and that kind of fell under my other job, which was coordinator of facilities. So I would meet with the brides-to-be to choose the weddings, and as you know, they can be a little bit nervous and anxious about their wedding. So I became a little bit of a planner, a little bit of a counselor to the brides, even though I was 25 years old and had never hosted a party myself. So I was a little out of place, but I tried to make the most of it.
So what's harder, helping a bride plan a wedding or getting your team ready to face St. Mary's on Thursday?
Helping a bride plan a wedding is an impossible task, so hopefully we have a little bit more success with St. Mary's.
Now, the law clerk was the other job on the list that I mentioned. Just give me some idea, because I'm sure there may be others out there. What's the toughest job that you've ever had?
Well, no doubt the wedding planning. When I was at Arcadia, that was the coaching job was part-time and the other job was full-time. So I had to do a lot of, wash the uniforms, sweep the floor, and then do the other facilities and renting the space out in the summer. So it was really a full-time job and year-round, but a great experience. Well,
look what you can do when you don't have to worry about wedding planning and coaching together. You get a record number of wins for your team. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris, and good luck in the tournament.
Thanks so much, Dana. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. And 7th seed of Richmond will take on the number 10 seed in the South, St. Mary's, Thursday. While by the number, the Spiders may be the favorite. This is a school that did pretty well in the past as a Cinderella. Richmond was the first program to win first-round tournament games as a 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th seed. Tuesday night, ESPN shoots 2 college basketball games. First, 7:30 Eastern, Winthrop takes